Welcome back to AATV. I'm your host Tom Anvil Hibberd, and today I'm going to take you through all the kit that I've packed for Gunman's Descent MilSim. Let's get going. So as I said, after Gunman Airsoft's Descent MilSim this coming weekend, I thought I'd go through some of the kit that I've packed. Now, I'm not in a combat role, I'm actually on the HQ team, helping out and running the game for the British side. So I don't have all of my fighting kit with me. So I'm very much going to be spending most of my time making tea, looking after the maps, and on the radios. So bear that in mind when we go through what I've packed. I'll break it down into the separate stuff. I've got my Bergen, which is all my camp, sleeping, and sustainment kit. I've got my rifle that I'll be using. Or probably actually not using, but it's nice to have one. Day sack, it's got my airsoft kit, so my BBs, my gas. Also got my food and my water and any warm kit that I want to take out into the game area. Most stuff will be staying back at camp with my Bergen. And I'll be transferring stuff from the Bergen into the day sack every morning to keep us going. My smock is all loaded up and ready to go. We'll talk through that later. And I've got my webbing, which is the stuff I'm going to take to play in gaming if I need to. And I'll also be able to live out of that during the day. And some boots. Right, first things first, let's go through what's in the Bergen. So my Bergen, as we talked about, is carrying all of my camping and sustainment gear. It's going to stay with my hammock, which is where I'm going to sleep, just outside the game area. So it won't be in with me. So what I'll do is I'll quickly unpack it and then I'll repack it for you as we go. Right, so that took a while. There's quite a lot in there. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. So this Bergen has a bottom pocket as well, which is pretty useful. So in there is going to go the clothes I'm going to be wearing mainly for the event. So I've got these packed up in a dry bag. Now, canoe bags or dry bags is something you'll see a lot of in this. I want my kit to be dry. We're not staying indoors, we're staying in the open. I'm going to be running a hammock setup that you might have seen earlier on the channel, which is going to be pretty awesome. I'm going to travel down in my civvy kit, which is pretty similar to what I'm wearing now. The kit I'm actually wearing in the field is British MTP surplus. Nice and cheap, nice and simple. So we've got a nice canoe bag to keep everything dry in. Once I've put my military stuff on when I get to the event, I'm going to put my civvy kit, my travelling kit back in here, keep it nice and dry. If I get wet during the day, I can always change into my civvy kit and stay nice and dry before I get in my hammock. So in here, I've got my little bush hat, jungle hat. Got a Ubax surplus shirt, super cheap, very comfy. MTP surplus trousers. On my trousers, I've got the inner belt from a C2R shooter's belt, and in my pocket, already attached, I've lanyarded on a Swiss Army knife. So this is the camper and has enough stuff for what I need to do. Lanyarded on so I don't lose it. There's enough cord so I can get it to arm's length or over my head. Great bit of kit. Anything that's really important and you really don't want to lose needs to be attached to you. You'll see that later on. I've got a spare pair of pants and a pair of socks for each extra day, Saturday and Sunday. Keep nice and clean. Putting a fresh pair of socks on is a great morale booster. And I don't want to be gungy. You don't have to be. My smock's quite bulky, so that's going to stay out for now. As I say, this is waterproof. Won't want to submerge it in a river, but if the Bergen gets a bit damp or gets rained on, not going to be a problem. Everything's nice and dry. Next we'll do the main compartment. Again, in the main compartment, it's like a big bucket. I've got another massive canoe bag or dry bag. I'm going to put things in the reverse order in which they're going to come out. So the last thing that's going to come out when I'm setting up camp my sleeping bag. This is a Mountain Hardware civilian bag Comfortable down to about 5 degrees, should be fine. Combined with some other stuff, I can always put a softy jacket on if I get a little bit cold. So rather than putting this in a compression sack, we're going to keep it nice and lofted. And it also helps fill out the space in the Bergen. So we're just going to shove this straight inside the canoe bag, inside the Bergen, and we'll get it into all the little corners down there and really fill it out. So the next thing to go in is my hammock underquilt. This will help keep it really warm. And that goes inside the canoe bag as well. My hammock, DD Frontline, it's already in the snake, and I've shown you that in the Sleeping Out MilSim video. Just a really cheap tarp. Standard kind of green one with brass grommets you can get anywhere. And this is going to act as my ground sheet underneath my hammock. Okay, so that stuff's in. What we're going to do next is do up the canoe bag. Now this doesn't need to be submersible, but I do want to make sure no water gets into it. So a couple of rolls is fine for what we're doing. And that tucks away inside the Bergen. Like the next few things we might want. So in my warm kit, got a British Army issue softy buffalo smock, nice and comfy. And could also act as a pillow. Got a shamag, act as a scarf, sling, towel, everything else you want to use it for. Nice warm hat. It's cold at night, or I can wear it when I'm sleeping. Put it down over my eyes. I've got a bigger North Face jacket. So this really, because there's going to be some night ops going on, if I get really cold in the middle of the night when I'm helping to keep the guys motivated, keep them in the field, and give them missions to do, I can always bang that on. It's not very military, it is amazingly warm. And again, if I don't need it, it makes a great pillow. So we'll take that as well. So at the top, if it gets quite cold, I can get to that really fast. There's a couple of dry bags in there. This one has a bit of paracord with 2 knots on. So I know if I'm in the dark, and we're trying to be a bit tactical, particularly if it's in my day bag, I can reach down, find the buckle, and 2 knots. Stole that from Military Kit Reviews, fantastic channel on YouTube. Top of the Bergen. First thing I'm going to come to in my Bergen, the last thing I'm going to pack is the first thing I want out, and that's my tarp. So I've got a DD 3x3 frontline tarp, guys attached, and the ridgeline attached in there, along with a couple of bungees if I need to. This will be the first thing that comes out of my Bergen when I'm setting up camp, so it's the first thing I'm going to pack up the top. And again, this one also has a bit of paracord on, because it's the first thing I want. It's only got 1 knot. Again, I could probably fill that in the dark if I had to. So that's also going to go in the top of the Bergen. So let's get that done up. Okay, that's the main compartment. My clothes sorted. Everything's waterproofed. So this has a nice big pocket on top. And in there I want stuff I can just get to quickly if I need it. So I'm going to put my little sit mat in. This is really useful. First aid. Just going to take an Israeli bandage. Anything less serious can be dealt with in a normal first aid kit, but if you really need something, you really need something. Bit of cord, always useful. My head torch. Pegs. Bug spray. And toilet paper, also waterproof. In this side pouch here, we're going to pack my food. I'm going to take mostly military rations, in this case British, and I've packed them out into 3 packs, 1 for each day we're going to be there. I've gone over rations before on the channel, so I won't labour it now, but let's just pack these away. Okay, so that's pretty much all the food I'm going to need. We may well go and buy some fresh stuff to have on the Friday evening. There's no point going to rations if you can go and get yourself something nice and fresh and cook it on site. Speaking of which, I've got another Bergen side pocket, and in here is going to go my kind of camp comfort items. Again, secondary waterproofed. So the first thing we'll do, put this dry bag inside the side pocket. So we're going to put my Mora heavy duty camp knife right down in the bottom, out of the way. Also going to take this folding saw, Volko Laplander, fantastic bit of kit, just in case you want to do something. So that also will go right in the bottom, out of the way of people that may get scared. Then the next thing that's going to go in is my skillet frying pan.
So in case we do get some fresh food to cook, I do have a little cast iron skillet. This is from Lidl, and it goes on the cooker that I'll be using. Also got a little bamboo spatula, easy to clean, and a little padded handle for when it gets hot, so I can lift it off a fire or off the cooker. Also got a bit of salt and pepper and some cooking oil in here as well, just a tiny little bit. And that goes in this little waxed cotton bag that Joe made for me, and that'll go in flat against the side of the Bergen. Then I've got my wash kit, pretty standard travelling wash kit, toothbrush, emergency toilet paper, shower gel and the rest. Won't be any showers on site, but I really can't be bothered taking everything out. Hand cleanser, really important, as we know. Medication bottles for me. Probably most importantly, I've got some wet wipes, keep myself nice and clean in the mornings and the evenings before I turn into bed. A couple more alcohol-free wipes, and I've got some foot powder, so talcum powder, so I can look after my feet, make sure they're all sorted before I get into bed first thing in the morning. Make sure I'm a really good nick, and my feet are clean and happy. If you've got bad feet, that's the end of your weekend. And I'll go through my kind of morning routine when I'm there. I'm going to film a adminning yourself at a MilSim event. I can hang it up on my ridge line, have everything there, look after myself. No need to be a big grot after 3 days. Boys are filthy and disgusting. There's no need for it. So look after yourself. Right, complete luxury item, a little mocha pot, stovetop mocha pot. I love coffee. I do have instant with me. I'll show you that in a minute. But first thing in the morning, I'm going to want some decent coffee. So I've got this big stovetop coffee pot. I'll take some loose ground coffee as well. Make myself a fantastic coffee. Again, roll the canoe bag over, make it waterproof. So that really is my Bergen packed. Fantastic. Is there anything you would have added? Anything you think I've left out? Let me know down in the comments. Right, next we're going to move on to my day sack. So my day sack's a lot less complicated. It pretty much contains everything I need to take into the gaming area or into the ops room for me to look after myself for that day. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so my day sack. Map case, any documents I need, maps of the site. Don't really know how cold it's going to be, so I'm going to take a couple of types of gas, running a gas blowback. BBs. Loaders, take 2, just in case one goes down. First aid kit, it's just a boo-boo kit. And another bandage. You need a good bandage. You need a good bandage. Comms and radios, that's my main role. So I've got multiple backups and spare batteries. A couple of Bearfang UV5Rs and a Retovis slightly better radio as well. I've got fist mics, PTTs and a headset. So a variety of things depending on what I'm doing, what role I'm taking. iPro, super important. In here will also go my rations and my warm kit. For now, we'll put in my waterproof. This is a Claw Gear Merrilax Gore-Tex top, fantastic. My Gore-Tex is at the top if I need it. I don't have to go rooting through anything, it's right there. Also going to take in this bag emergency tissue and a couple of wipes, some electrolyte tabs just in case I start going down, hand sanitizer, really useful, obvious reasons. So that's my day sack. As I say, other things to go in there will be a warm coat and my rations for the day. But that'll see you right. Okay, that's my day sack. Webbing. Now, I really ummed and ahed about what to take. At one point, I really wasn't going to take anything, or even a gun, but I might want to go out in the field. You never know. Plus, me being out in the field as an intel officer also provides an objective for both our side and the other side. So I figured it'd be worth taking something. Most of the stuff in here, if I wasn't carrying it in my webbing, I'd have to carry it in my day sack on my Bergen anyway. So it just seemed like a convenient way of carrying things. So just quickly go through the contents of my webbing. So we'll go from left and work our way around to the right. So this is a tailored set of DPM webbing, pretty faded by now. It's not going to look completely at odds with my MTP. Now I've got magazines. 2 more on that one. My first utility pouch has a water bottle. There'll be a lot of water bottles around, so I put my name on it. I've also put a bit of paracord on so you can get it out really easily. And as per military kit reviews advice, not that I will probably ever need them, but you never know, I've got some Puri tabs, water purification tablets, and a piece of duct tape at the bottom. Also inside that pouch, I've got my mug, teas, coffees, and everything else. There's also a bit of space in that pouch if you wanted to take a bit of a brew kit. No dogs. That's the dogs. I normally have sandbags on my webbing anyway, so they're still on. A couple more utility pouches. This can be my sustainment pouch. So I've got my brew kit. I'll also place it into my webbing, my meals for the day. I've got a multi-tool, foil blanket, and a few other bits and bobs just to keep me going. So in there will basically be all the stuff I need to eat, drink, and look after myself during the day. So the contents out of my Bergen and my day sack will go into there as and when it's needed. A real soldier might have a few more things in there. I'm mainly in an ops room, it's not that necessary. This pouch has my jet boil. Also in a separate bag, just to make it easier to get out. And you can get a brew kit in there. My jet boil, pretty standard jet boil flash. I have just picked up the pot stand, which will be super useful for that iron skip. It's the dog. She gets really thirsty. Just come and say hello, Flo. Flo doing a flyby. Thanks, Flo. So I've got the pot stand. That's really useful for that little iron skillet we showed earlier. And you've seen a jet bowl loads of times on the channel, so I won't labour that. As you see, there's a bit of space in the top as well for a snack meal or brew kit. Fits really well inside a utility pouch. Next utility pouch, got another water bottle. So both my water bottles I only ever really use with plain water, nothing goes in them. If I'm going to add any flavourings or taste or tea or coffee, that happens inside another cup. So these stay completely uncontaminated. And again, I've got the lifting paracord and the Puri tabs. Instead of the plastic cup in this one, I've got my metal Crusader cup. So that can go over a fire, I can go over the jet boil if I need to, it can go over someone else's cooker, and I can still heat water and heat food. Plastic cup obviously would just melt. So that's pretty useful. Coming round, final couple of pouches. RSM's Nightmare. I've got a flask, really useful for sentry or standing watch. If I make a brew and I don't drink it all, I can just go in the flask and stay in there. And I've got another long spoon. This one's really long to get to the bottom of ration pack pouches. And this last pouch, got my last couple of magazines. So 6 total. Again, I don't really imagine I'm going to be getting into many firefights. So I'm only going to be carrying 180 BBs on me at any one time. It's a pouch for what I'm really going to be doing, and that's being on the radio. So that's the most important thing I can be doing. So this is Baofeng UV5R with the extended battery. We've modified this smoke pouch for an antenna port, and I've got my fist mic clipped onto the side. So it's not something I'd probably take into the field on a normal game, but for this purposes I want something super convenient. I can have my webbing in front of me and communicate quite merrily with the fist mic. To the boots, I'm going to take my lower Zephyrs. They're more of an urban boot. They're fine in the woods as long as it doesn't get too wet. They are Gore-Tex, but absolutely fine. Certainly for sitting in an ops room or going out on a small patrol. I'm going to take another pair of shoes. So these are a set of ASICS Gore-Tex trail running shoes. They'll be absolutely fine as well. Again, I'm not going to be carrying large loads. I'm not going to be running around very much. If these get really wet, I've got a spare pair of shoes, and these just may stay in the car. British Army smock. Not a big fan of the, I think it's the PCS, of this issue smock. I really prefer the windproofs, but it's the right colour for the faction that I'm in, and it's an issue garment, so it's pretty cheap. Badged up, to show my role as an intelligence officer. I've got a few extra bits in the pockets. So I've got med kit for the game rules in the breast pocket, along with a compass. The compass is lanyarded on into a compass pocket. I've got gloves and a hat in the pocket as well. On this side I've got another set of tissues if I need them, and I'll put some snack items of food in there, keep me sustained for the day. And in the other top pocket, I've got a notebook and pen and a whistle, in case I need some help. The whistle will give commands. The whistle is also lanyarded on, so I don't lose it. And then my notebook, although it's a writing in the rain notebook, it's also waterproof, and I've got a couple of pens in there. Common theme, lanyarding things on so you don't lose them, and then having everything waterproofed. So water-wise, I'm going to take probably something like 4 to 6 litres a day, so I'm going to need quite a lot. So I may take one of the big 10-litre jugs or get some 2-litre bottles. So the replica I'm taking is my L119A2. It's the most British Army gun I've got. I don't have an SA-80. But this will do quite nicely. You've seen a lot of this on the channel, so I won't labour it over. Gas blowback rifle, 30 BBs per mag. This descent MilSim is fairly immersive, so we're only going to load 30 BBs, and the riflemen have a limit of 300 BBs loaded at any one time anyway. So pretty low ammo limits. Riflemen, such as myself, will be stuck on semi-auto, and automatic squad weapons like a SAWs or GPMGs can actually shoot auto, which gives them a point, certainly under British laws. I've got a normal set of accessories on it. I'm not taking any IR gear or night vision gear. There will be night ops, but we need people in the ops room looking after the guys giving them missions during the night. So I'm not going to go out this time. So sorry about that. I'm packing reasonably light, and I don't want to take all my night vision gear as well as everything else. Okay, so that's what I'm taking. I'll film everything while I'm there and show how I admin myself while I'm in the field and how I look after myself. Do you think I missed anything? What would you take? Do you think I made any mistakes? Please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. This has been AATV, looking at my MilSim pack list. Please like, subscribe, most importantly share. If you want to help keep this channel as independent as possible, you can join our Patreon scheme. We also sell awesome t-shirts on Teespring. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.